Well, my dear friend, as you saw by yourself, if you have not yet seen it, it ended. Chelsea 1, Manchester City 3. Chelsea 1, Manchester City 3. Maresca must be bold to drop Sanchez going forward. Our head coach, Enzo Maresca, must be bold to drop Robert Sanchez going forward. Well, dear friends, wherever you are on the globe, you're highly welcome. It is my post-match reaction to the game at the Etihad. Chelsea, Manchester City. It ended 3-1. A game that Chelsea started beautifully. The first 15-18 minutes, Chelsea was playing the game according to what we all expected. As a matter of fact, we should have scored 3 goals in that first 15-18 minutes. We should have scored our early goals, and this has been the problem every time in our games. Chelsea have 1 win in 7 matches. My goodness. This is not my club. 1 win in 7 matches. Oh, if it were then, by now, heads would have been rolling. By now, as we are waking up this morning, Sunday morning, the coach is already gone. The coach is already gone. If it were to be those days, major questions for Enzo Maresca to answer, including the starting lineup. The shapes, when we are out of position. The shape of our defense when we are out of position. Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart have spent hundreds of millions of pounds. In fact, they've spent £1 billion plus, and yet there is still gaps. There is still gaps and holes in this Chelsea setup. 25 days gone. And no sign of bringing in a striker. 25 days gone in the transfer window. And there is no sign of bringing in a striker. Jackson was not bought as our main striker, dear friends. Jackson was meant to be the backup. At the time that they were buying Jackson, they never bought Jackson to be the one to head Chelsea going forward. They bought him to be the backup. Along the line, I think they put so much hope on Christopher Nkunku. 25 days gone and no sign to bring in a striker, a quality goalkeeper and a midfield. Listen, dear friend, the whole team it's a shambolic. It is a shambolic. The first 15 minutes, we scored the first goal. Yes, early. Within the first 3 minutes, the first goal was already scored. What remains? So I keep saying this. Does it mean that Chelsea Football Club cannot score even a single goal and defend to the end? Anytime the ball gets to our area, we are in problem. Once the ball gets close to our 18-yard box, Chelsea are in a big ship. It has always been like this for the past 6 weeks, 7 weeks, throughout December till now. Or let me say, yes, 6-7 weeks now, or 8 weeks. It has been like this. We scored a goal, then we just take our feet off the pedal. We start the game very well, first 15 minutes. By the time we get to the 20th minute, our feet are off the pedal. We don't accelerate any longer. Then it will look like something is holding our legs. I don't know how to describe the whole thing. Enough is enough. It is high time we drop last season, if you can remember very well, it got to a stage, Poch, it got to a stage where Poch had, in fact, it was even injury that even helped Pochettino. Then we got how do you call him? This guy in Strasbourg now, who stepped in, and all of a sudden, we always saw improvement. To the end of the season. Hey, and let me also remind you, last season by this time, we were already picking form. Remember, we ended the season on 6th position last season. Chelsea ended last season on 6th position under Pochettino. when we started this rebuilding with lesser squad depth, with almost 10 to 12 injuries to senior players in the squad, yet Pochettino ended the season with us on 6th position. Now, after Christmas, in January, we are on 6th position. Don't you tell me that there's an improvement in this squad? You will tell me that there is an improvement. Enzo Maresca got the game plan wrong. It's not the end of the world. Yes, I know. But we've got exactly what we deserve in this game. 3-1, it ended. This wasn't an immature showing from the team. It was an immature performance from the coach as well. You took off Nicola Jackson. Oh my God. Is it 65th minute? You took off Jackson and you brought in Christopher Nkunku. How many times did Christoph got a ball? How many times? Since he took off Nicola Jackson, there was no more attacking play. It was like just within, and now the pressure was on us. Robert Sanchez registered 53.8% pass accuracy. Yes, but he lost possession 19 times. 19 times, more than any player involved in this 3-1 defeat against City. He lost possession 19 times. Goalkeeper. It's mad. The heart of our defense, my God, the heart of our defense, Chelsea defense, is a player we physically push out. We don't have number 9. Let me also make that very clear. We don't. Jackson was not supposed to be our main striker. So even if he has become, he deserves a backup. As things are not going well for him, we bring in a striker. Christopher Nkunku, we can't tell if he's a striker, if he's number 10, number 8, right now in this setup. How are the sporting directors still on their job? How are they still in the job? How? In this our club. I mean, this is not, we have lost our identity as a club, Chelsea. We've lost our identity as a club, Chelsea. We've lost our identity as a club. This is not the Chelsea we know. Chelsea cannot score a goal and maintain that goal. Instead of adding up, we end up making more errors and we now take our feet off the pedal. And then City did not play anything extraordinary. They only took their chances. City did not play anything extraordinary. The first 10-15 minutes, we had clear cut. And by the way, you see, why I'm even talking about Jackson this moment is that Jackson is not a striker that can score with both feet. Then our second goal, which Jackson could have scored, Cole Palmer plays the ball to his left, and so he could not shoot with the left feet. He needs to cut it back and give a pass. Now he gave a pass. I think it's Sanchez or Enzo, who could not shoot to score. Many are blaming him that he should have scored from that angle, but it was difficult. The ball came on his left and he doesn't score. I mean, his left is weak. His left is weak. That is why we need a striker that can play with both feet. We've seen it before. There are many out there. What are we doing? Now, I'm about to conclude. Look at Sanchez right there. This is where Chelsea actually missed it out. The very goal that Sanchez, even at 1-1, Chelsea was still in control. I mean, the game was still under control. At 1-1, the game was still under control until our goalkeeper did this, as you can see on your screen. At 1-1, the game was still under full control until your goalkeeper did this. Where was he going? You left your goalpost outside the box. You were outside the box when the ball, you were outside the box. And the worst part is that at the time that Haaland was going for the ball, Sanchez could not make a decision whether to return to his goalpost or... I mean, that moment, instantly you should know where you are. Our defender was already rushing him down. Therefore, you should be looking at your back, quickly returning to your goalpost. In the first place, what were you doing there? You are not an on-field player. You are not outfield player. You are a goalkeeper, for Christ's sake. You left your goalpost empty and you were somewhere. Even the angle, your position is wrong. It is after this goal was scored, that was when it's like, oh, okay, we have lost it again. Dear friend, last season, like I said, Robert Sanchez cost us consistently last season. Yes, what do? We signed a keeper who is not good enough to bench him again. We signed another keeper, Philip Jorgensen. That is, we claim he's not good enough to bench him. Last season, we struggled defensively. And what do? We signed Tosin. That is still on the bench. Last season, we lacked any real cover for Nicholas Jackson. Yes. And what do? We signed no one. Expect Nkuku to play as a striker. Last season, Enzo and Casado overused because Lavia is never fit. We overused Enzo and Casado last season because Lavia was never fit. What do? Nothing. Till now. What I witnessed against City was a squad building disaster. What I witnessed against City in this game is a squad building disaster. In this game, what I witnessed, squad building disaster. No one to actually bench Jackson when he's terribly at his lowest point. You brought in Jackson. You brought in Nkuku, who is even worse than any other player I've seen on the pitch of play. Meanwhile, there's no real defender at the back. Mentally fragile goalkeeper. Mentally fragile goalkeeper. Then, and when your goalkeeper is so fragile mentally, who commands the defense? Who encourages the defense? The goalkeeper is already fragile mentally. Who is there to encourage the defense? Midfielders run into the ground. Our midfielders, there's nothing we can do right now. Youngest team in the Premier League collapsing mentally at this point, dear friend. We've collapsed. It's not a coincidence. It is not. It is not. We said it before that this team, we needed to get experience to mix up with this squad. Transfer approach need to change. Moving on. Find the right balance or we aren't going anywhere. I end my case. I'll see you guys in the next one when you see me. Shalom and peace.